colors of passion they bring. It ain't no wonder. WrestleShoot podcast. I'm sung the rest of love.
Woo! Gotta love that fucking jam. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another WrestleShoot. We're back. Did you miss us? We missed you. Oh, sweeties. We missed you guys so much.
It's like a portrait painting. I'm getting one of those paintings of me like this.
I think you just got one. I'm going to go back. I'm going to make a screen grab of that. Do all kinds of fun shit with it.
Great. Awesome. Love it.
Oh, Jesus Christ. So here we are. We're finally back. Rob's not in the hospital. Yay.
Yay. Yeah. But yeah, we are going to cut it short today because I got a work thing I got to take care of here. But it's going to be a great show, and looks like, is that the television title behind you?
Indeed. One of my favorite belts of all time.
It's pretty remarkable. I love the color, just everything about it. I love all of it.
But you totally glazed past the WrestleShoot title.
Yeah, it's okay, but I like the TV title.
Well, you motherfucker, you.
Yeah, it's nice. No.
Don't make me shoot on you.
Oh, wait, are we talking about that today? Wait, what are you talking about? Huh?
I just think it's funny, that this conversation we was getting into in one of our bi-weekly girl talks was we definitely see the art of shooting very, very differently. And like you said, that seems like a hell of a topic to get into on the show today.
Yeah, it was. I think it was a conversation we just had, and yeah, we had totally different opinions about it. And
my opinion is very, very basic. I mean, wrestling around is wrestling around. Shooting is a fucking fight, and that's just how I look at it. That's why when we had the school, I was so brutal on these kids as far as how the shooting goes and throwing the occasional stretching on them. It wasn't that I enjoyed it. It wasn't only that I enjoyed it. It was, to me, a very critical part of the wrestling business to know how to shoot fight. But then you look at shooting a different way.
Well, yeah, like when I was doing the school with you is when we did shooting, which was, grappling on the ground and stretching them out and, basically toughen them up. And we also did striking as well. We got some gloves and they, willing to handle their business in the ring. And so, like, I completely separate those. It's like striking's like punching and kicking and all that stuff. And then shooting is like, hey, we're going to the mat. Like, we're going to stretch. We're going to, like, I'm here to fucking put you down. So I had to separate the two. But you were saying it's kind of almost the same.
To me, it's the same. Yeah, because, like, I'm not going to double leg somebody and put them on their back hard just to, like, teach them a lesson. If it gets to the point where they want to really start getting funky and they want to start shooting around, they have every intention to hurt me at this point. And fuck that. So when I get them on the ground, I'm not just going to get them on the ground, look for a submission hold to grab and kind of try to jerk it down and relax these guys. I'm going to start dropping elbows in their mouth. I'm going to start going to work on their joints. I'm going to start doing things that they're not going to just feel better from in an hour, and then we'll go and we'll settle it over a beer. If you want to try to take liberties on me, or I think you're going to try to hurt me in that ring, wrong guy, Jack. I ain't the fucking one.
Yeah, then you're going to ground and pound, like you're just pounding the fuck out of somebody, like on the ground. Like you got him down, you're shooting them, you're putting them down on the mat, and then you're like, okay, now I'm going to fucking start throwing blows on you. And I think that's where it comes down to the ground and pound on top of the shooting. I don't know.
All right, let me pose this as a question to you then.
Yeah.
So, like, this goes back to you and me. When I feel like you're getting a little bit too stiff on me, and I throw that European in. Now, do you look at that as shooting, or do you look at that as just a receipt?
It's a straight receipt.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, some people take that as a shoot, as like, oh, you're trying to get in there, you're trying to take liberties on me. I think those are new guys who look at it like that.
Well, yeah, because we know each other. I mean, I know it's like, okay, like I'll be honest, you know this. I throw in a little harder sometimes, like, oh shit, I know that. I'm like, oh, I fucking caught him pretty good this one. And so when you come back, I'm like, I fucking had it coming. So
Yeah, but our whole generation was like that. Warpath is a great example of somebody goes in there, he comes in there screaming fucking hot, and he knows that when you fucking throw it in there extra hot back, he just goes, "Oh, right, okay." I had that coming.
right, right,
Hustler, Apple Bomber, like all those big muscle, hard hitting sons of bitches. They knew that when you threw it in hard back, or they knew who you were. Right. What
right,
I mean by that is, to everybody listening, what I mean by that is Chris and I may have never met each other before a day in our lives before our first match. And when that happens, if he comes in, he hits me hard, you get the 1 potato, 2 potato rule. But if you get to the 3 potato, I'm going to throw in some receipts back and see where your head's at with it. But I trust that you would understand where that came from. It wasn't just, I'm going to start blasting on this fool for a little bit and see how it plays.
right. And I think you hit around the button there. It's all about the pace of the match, right? It's because there's guys that they're trying to do it deliberately, and they don't listen. They're just.
But any shoot is deliberate. Like
Well,
I'll reference you to you and Vega when you was doing your bit up there at what's that little fat fucking meatball's name out there in California?
What, Vinny?
Vinny, yeah, Vinny. Oh, I'm a badass fucking wrestler who's a bitch. What's his last name?
Well, Masato.
Yeah, Vinny Massaro. You're a bitch, dude. If Jimmy Rip punked you out, dude, a fucking used condom can punk you out, you punk.
Yep.
With that being said, when you and Vega was doing your shtick up there against Schizo and his little fucking scrub wannabe stupid.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And first thing that kid did was he tried to jump in there and double leg Mark. And that the bell hadn't even rung yet. And what did Mark do? He kicked back, he pie-faced him, he slapped the kid in the back of the head, and he gave him another chance. So does that qualify to you as a shoot or a shoot fight?
I think he was trying to shoot.
Well, the kid was definitely trying to shoot, and he got showed up like fucking right away.
Yeah. He got showed up really quickly. I think he was fucking going in to shoot, and he was trying to prove a fucking point. I don't think they really wanted to fucking fight. It's one of those things, though. He's testing the waters, so maybe he wanted to fight, but then he saw Mark. He's like, oh shit, kind of fucking maybe retract. He's like, okie dokie, like that, and back the fuck off. And the match was terrible. Don't get me wrong, but I think
you say that it wasn't terrible.
Okay, we'll call it maybe.
It was pointless. It was pointless. That's what it was.
Pointless. Yeah.
And the only thing I've ever heard Vinny Scrubbioso ever get right was that that match restarted like 3 times, and it did. That's because the kid tried to get fucking squirrely with Mark in the beginning. After the bell rang, he tried to get squirrely. He got embarrassed around a little bit. He tried it again, got embarrassed around a little bit. And then by the time you and Schizo ended up in the ring together, we all know that Schizo wasn't even thinking about fucking with you.
No. Well, I gave him the option. I was like, we're gonna work, we're gonna fight. We're gonna work. Cool.
Let's work, brother. Let's just work, brother. Fuck you.
I gave him the choice. It was, gave him the choice. I was respectful, and then, and he chose to fucking work. But yeah, you're right. That match started like 3 fucking times.
Yeah. But the point was, and to me, just because Vega didn't like lose his cool and pound that stupid little bastard into the fucking, like grind him right into the canvas, to me doesn't mean it was any less of a fight. The kid was trying to fight, and Mark felt like showing some compassion and not completely humiliating this kid in front of the whole building.
And I think Mark knew the kid knew Mark was better than him. He's like, okay, this guy, I'm not getting over on this guy. He knew it.
It's just funny because the ones who trained that kid weren't shooters either. Mr. Prime Time and Schizo fucking Marchioso. Neither one of them were fucking shooters, and they're trying to teach some kid how to be a shooter. And then like us who trained fucking Vega, and Vega already came in with such a strong amateur, track record going on. It was just ridiculous that was the one that, and that shitso bugged that kid the whole time, the whole ride up there to that show. Oh well, we're gonna get there and get serious. I want you to show me something, even though Schizo's too much of a bitch to show anybody anything.
Oh yeah. I forgot about Prime Time. He was that mad. I can remember the third person. He was the third person.
Yeah, he was a little cunt.
Yeah.
Mr. High Flyer, no shooter, big mouth. Goddamn, Aiden almost slapped the shit out of him in his own school when he pussied out in front of his own students.
Wow, that's fucking awesome. I wish I was there to see that.
Well, Aiden was a bad motherfucker too. I mean, let's not forget that little skinny spit fuck was military combat trained before he started training with me to be a wrestler.
Yeah. He's the real fucking deal.
He just wasn't kidding. He's like, "Who are you?" And he's like, "Oh, you're in my house trying to talk shit, prime time, trying to get all squirrely and big chested." And Aiden just chuckled, took his little baseball hat off that he always wore, popped his wife beater off, and said, "What do?" And he was like, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" He's like, "I'm getting ready to beat the shit out of you. That's what I'm doing." He kept looking at me for the go ahead, like, am I going to go now? I was like, "Dude, you go when you're ready to go, bro. I'm with you."
Rob just standing off the side, just waiting for it to go down.
Because to me, there's no separation in shoot to shoot fight. Because either way, even if I'm shooting to win. And I'm a dirty player anyway. So if I got somebody on their back, let's say I'm trying to, I don't know, let's just go for something simple. Like I got them on their back and I'm trying to get them on their side for a head and arm. Don't think I'm not going to drop my forehead under their chin, pop their head back so I can grab a hold of that son of a bitch. Some people might say that's a little bit of a dirty play, but I don't give a shit. If we're shooting down to it, I'm shooting to win. I'm not shooting just to see who's got more gas in the tank.
Well, at that point, it's like, oh, you need to fucking win. Like, I'm going to fucking win. I'm not going to sit there and hold each other until you fucking wear out. It's like, no, I'm going to fucking do what I can.
And see, it's conversations like this that makes me even more regret the loss of Butcher. Because I would have loved to hear what his 2 cents on this topic would have been as just a mega fan, not even a worker.
Right, from a fan's point of view. That would have been great to get his point of view, because he always offered an interesting, for both sides. He always talked about both sides, interesting perspective. He was never leaning like, this is the way. Like, he would say, well, from this point of view and this point of view, and you're like, oh shit, I see both sides of it. And convinced us.
Yeah. Fucking miss that guy, man. For those of you who don't know, Butcher was about to take over as the third chair here on WrestleShoot before we lost him.
Yeah, I don't know who another third chair would be. But I don't know if we need one now.
That's a pretty goddamn big set of shoes to fill.
Yeah, because we've done that. We've done this for a while. We had a third person about a year and a half, 2 years ago.
Oh, that little fucking douchebag X.
Yeah. And
hey X, if you're watching, you're still a coward. You're still a punk ass bitch. He tried to send me a message the other day on Facebook from some random account. You better leave my name out of your mouth. I said, dude, you're a coward. That's all you are. You run mouth, you press block, just like Will Fatwood. I mean, your next step is going to be fucking your child's prom date. That's who you are. You're a piece of garbage, just like him and just like Jimmy Castle. You're 3 Ps who belong in the same dysfunctional, half-rotted out pod. But X, you're a fucking coward-ass bitch. And don't think for a second I won't say it to your face, you motherfucker, because you know I'll slap the black right off of your fucking mouth. Don't you ever sit there and stroke your cock while you're trying to talk shit online like you're a badass. You and me both know. I've smacked the fuck out you before. And if we were in person, I would beat you vicious.
And he will shoot and strike. He would do all the above on you. Or just straight fight you.
No, I think that I would humble him a little bit as I beat the shit out of him. And that's the thing is I'm a striker, and that's what's funny about you and me because I'm a counter puncher, and you're a counter puncher. So the two of us put together as a tag team was kind of everybody's worst nightmare because they never really knew which angle the attack was coming from.
Right. Yeah. That's wild. I never thought of it that way before.
That we're both a couple of psychos.
Yeah. Well, there's no debate on that.
So I mean, I don't really know where else we can go with this. I mean, to me, like, okay, the art of shooting around just for somebody to learn how to actually wrestle, not be
Yeah.
a pro wrestler, but we're going to teach you how to wrestle in school. Yeah, okay, that's different, but that's not really shooting. That's more wrestling. Even though we called it shooting, that's teaching them how to wrestle. To me, shoot and fight are one word. Shoot fight.
Shoot fighting.
Yeah.
So it's a combination of shooting, which is I look at shooting like again, I look at shooting as wrestling and grappling, like really like a step above amateur wrestling. Amateur wrestling, like you're trying to get the guy pinning them, get the quick count one.
Right.
That's straight up amateur. Then you got your UFC where you're fucking taking them down and you're trying to fucking make the fucker submit and you're throwing some ground and pound at the same time. Like
But I don't think I've ever ground and pounded like that. Not like a UFC fight. Like
Right.
that's going to actually end somebody's career. What they do.
Yeah, and that's what they do, and that's what they're doing. They're going straight. So I don't know. I can see your point, and then part of it is like, well, I don't know. I see them separate. I don't know. It's tough, man. I would love to get some opinions on this. I mean, just perspective. I'm seeing your point, though, Rob. I really am.
We should definitely have another wrestlers roundtable panel again. We haven't done one of those in a while.
Get some wrestlers on the show.
Yeah, and that would be and we should get some new wrestlers, some guys we haven't had before. You get some all new opinions and feedback.
Yeah, that would be fucking great.
And while we're at it, we should do another fan roundtable. Those are always fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, if you're a wrestler, if you're a fan, and you want to be on WrestleShoot, send me a message. Rob Wilds, look for this hat. Wherever you see his fucking hat, you're gonna see his fucking face. You ain't gonna see his fucking face without this fucking hat, and the hat on the face and the head, and the thing with the place.
At least put the fucking hat on.
That's right. Put the fucking hat on, Chris. This isn't a joke anymore. And I know we got to get this wrapped up here relatively soon, but
Yeah.
I do, and I wasn't able to actually find the time to make a video. But let's address the fact that we lost Sid Vicious.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Sad. Great, man. I didn't think he was all great in the ring. I thought he was okay, but fuck, he made a huge name for himself.
I loved everything about him. I really did.
Well, his interviews were intense. He looked the fucking part. Everything was great. Like I would say his skill was pretty average. He was okay. Like he's like okay, he does enough. But yeah, he was fucking intense. Just a fucking monster, man. And legitimately, if I was just a fan, I'd be afraid. I'd be like, yeah, this guy's a fucking crazy fuck. But then outside the wrestling game, he was just a nice family guy and real respected by a lot of people in the business and outside. So tough loss. Cancer. Ugh.
Okay. One then. I just thought of.
Okay.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah, cancer.
Oh wow. Okay, I think
Yeah,
we're
that's what I
developing
heard.
a little bit of a lag here.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I just think we're lagging a little bit back and forth. So here's what I'm going to do.
Okay.
We're going to say Sid Vicious is one. Every question I ask, Sid Vicious is one. I'm going to name another very popular big man from the area. And then you're going to be the booker and you're going to call over or under for Sid. And that's going to be based on how you think his wrestling ability, not his promos, none of that, just his in-ring work compares against them. How's that sound?
Okay, so let me understand the rules. So over is going to be he's better than them in the ring, and under he's going to be.
Yeah, he's gonna win or he's gonna lose the match.
Oh, actually, like lose.
Yeah, based on his skill style, if he's going over or if he's going under.
Okay.
All right, so Nash.
Over.
Yeah, over Nash. I would say over on Nash, or maybe a Broadway.
Yeah, that could. It depends
Okay,
which. Yeah, I say over.
over. Uh, what about Bammers?
Who?
Bam Bam.
Oh, over.
You think he's over on Bam Bam?
Yeah.
Okay. So okay, Razor Ramon, Scott fucking Hall.
Under.
Under, definitely fucking under, no doubt.
Yeah.
About it.
Yeah.
I was watching that Wrestle Me today, and I don't remember what it was, but they had they were doing something on Vinny Vegas on Nash when he was Vinny Vegas, but then they touched on Scott Hall when he was Diamond Stud, and they said it's like you could see Scott is thinking here, uh, I'm not a very good wrestler, and my gimmick is shit. I better figure something else out.
Yeah.
I think like 40% of my respect for those guys went right out the window to say Scott Hall's not a very good wrestler.
Wow.
Give me a fucking break. Okay. Bundy.
Oh wow. Over.
You think he's over Bundy? I would put him under Bundy.
Like you put Bunny over on him?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
would.
It,
I think Bundy. I actually disagree with you on the Bam Bam thing too. I think that both of those guys were just next fucking level big man workers, like
oh.
above the cut.
Well, okay. See, if you're talking about like if I'm a promoter putting him over, depends what the psychology is.
No, but we're not talking about psychology. We're just talking about
The
ability.
skill.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I'm gonna retract then. Under fucking Nat, he's fucking over on Nash on skill level.
Right.
Bam Bam, he's under. Scott Hall, he's under, and then Bundy, he's under.
What about Hillbilly?
Over. Hillbilly was more gimmick. He was great. He was good, but he was more gimmick.
He really was more gimmick. He was a better square dancer than a wrestler. You're right. Good call.
Yeah, I'd square dance with him. He's great.
I bet you do a lot with Hillbilly.
Country boy, fucking do it. Yeah.
Okay. Obviously, I was gonna say Undertaker, but obviously he's under on Undertaker. But it's just cool that they were a tag team for a while.
Yeah, it was great. They
So
were
speaking of tag teams, what about Dan Spivey?
Dan Spivey was a good worker. I'm gonna put Spivey over.
You're a kid. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Brian Lee.
Brian Lee under.
Am I getting Brian Lee and Brian Adams crossed? Who was crushed?
Brian Adams.
Brian Adams. Okay, so he's over on Adams.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah,
for sure.
Brian Lee was a phenomenal worker.
Like it's obvious. Like I could say, Warrior. Even though Warrior got the push, Sid was 5 times the fucking worker that Warrior ever was.
Yes, I agree.
So let's go to Godfather, but let's go like way back in the day when they were both in Global together.
Oh, okay. I put Sid probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, now the hard one, because this is a hard one. I asked myself this earlier. Hogan, just on ability.
Wow, there's a tough one.
On in-ring ability. We're not talking promos or any of that. Just
I'm gonna say Hulk.
Are you?
Hulk is very adaptable. I just go back to his time in Japan when he went to Japan and he worked fucking Muda. Hands down, great fucking match. I don't think
Adaptable is the perfect fucking word. That was
Yeah.
That you're right. He's definitely Sid was probably more of a one-line wonder than anything.
Yeah, you knew we could get with Sid. Hulk was like, okay, I'm gonna actually fucking do some wrestling. I'm gonna have some fun in Japan, and he did. Him and Buddha had a great match.
Okay. This is a tough one. Andre.
Well, I mean, Andre in his younger days or his older days?
Let's say younger. Andre in his prime and Sid in his prime.
I'm gonna say Andre.
I'm not. I mean, as far as actual ability goes, Andre's always been a 5 move kind of guy, and Sid had 7, so I'm gonna go Sid.
Okay, it's 7. All right.
And I really kind of feel like that's because most of the big guys they've had through really stuck. Okay, big show.
Oh shit. I think Show. I put Show. Show got better.
Thing about Sid is he was not. Sid was cool. Sid was a very kind-hearted, very good person. Did a lot for charities. Did a lot
Yeah.
for special needs kids. Hey, I mean, fucking WCW. He got that kid with Down syndrome to go be his manager for the night on the pay-per-view. Remember that?
Oh yeah, yeah. That was that. I actually watched that recently. It came up, and I was like, oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, I mean, Sid was just a rad guy, and
Yeah.
it's fucked up that nobody put him in like the gimmick Hall of Fame before he died. Like it's gonna now have to be after he was gone, and that's fucked up.
Yeah, he deserves to be in there. I mean, he had the strap twice in WE, and he was WCW champ, and he was in a lot of big fucking angles, and he was
A
one of
lot.
the a lot heavy hitters. So he definitely deserves to be in there. But again, I always thought he was just an average. He was average in the ring. Like everything else outshined that what he did.
He did have that presence too, and that's what really kept him going. Was that and his promo skills were just great.
Yeah, very intense, man. Just very like fuck. I actually believed him. He was gonna fucking kill me.
Even when he fucked up, man, at WCW doing his promo and said, "Oh, let me start again. We're live, pal," and he jumped right back into it like he didn't miss a beat. Go Sid, man. Fuck them. You did it. Good for you.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
So,
all right.
in my opinion, the wrestling world was a better place with Sid.
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
All right. Well, I mean, I don't really have a whole lot left to say. 'Cause I know you got to get to work. You got anything you want to put out there?
No, I don't. Just R.I.P. Sid. The wrestling world misses you, and the wrestling world is not as good when you're gone. But R.I.P.
And
brother.
R.I.P. Butcher. We missed the fuck out of you. And to be very honest, this network is a little bit of a darker place right now while we're trying to. I hate to sound like Sean, but while we're trying to find our smile again.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
was corny. Jesus Christ. But it's true.
it is.
So before we get out of here, guys, Gutshank Theater, our next installment coming up this Sunday, the 15th, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we are finally going to watch Chris Casanova's pick, Big Trouble in Little China.
That'll be a good one.
It's going to be a good one. Yeah, and of course, we're going to have the normal Motley crew hanging out with us. So it's going to be a fun time. So this Sunday, right here on the Antisocial Network, come check us out. And with that being said, Chris, it's nice to be back. It's nice to not be in the hospital. And we're going to start kicking back up into high gear.
Oh.
Boom. All right. Bye.